see here. Does it say I'm live? Well, it's an indication, but no, it's something about off. No, that says live. So I'm guessing that means. What if I click here? That will give me. No. Here, no. Show player. Scroll out. Okay. Hide players to save my data a bit. You can see the chat. Wishing I had 3 monitors instead of just 2. Because all the windows I have open. And let's see. That. Okay, there we go. Okay. Getting a little started a little later than I had in mind. Okay. Shouldn't take it too long to load that game. While it's doing that, I think if I click here, click here, oh, now I'm hearing myself in stereo. Let's see, but that's, I wanted to go grab the link here. Okay, no, I don't. I want to put it right here. Link in the Discord saying now live. Okay. And then look at my screen over here, and yes, I'm looking at the right screen. But it might help if I bring up the spreadsheet so I, remember who made what. Although I suppose I've learned in another one that it's possible to go pull up the control panel and see who made the various vessels here. These are the submissions stuff. I'll try not to move around too much too fast. I want to take a look at these things, but I am aware that I'm aware that I've changed some settings in my computer. The stream will probably be a little more smooth than last time. However, in exchange, the price seems to be that instead of the image chopping, making it look like I have low bandwidth, the bandwidth is actually my computer, not the internet. So it's in exchange, what will happen is if I start scrolling, side to side too fast, the image goes blurry. I think I have a solution for that. I have not tested it, but that's going to take a little financial management on my part. I actually have part of the hardware I need to do it. I just don't have power supply sufficient to pull it off. So okay, well, these two Khazul, I'm not sure how to pronounce it, put in 2 entries, one initially so they would have an entry in the contest, and then they during the month worked on an actual build to the competition. So I'm going to show them both here and stuff. And but let's see. The first one over here. Well, I've got them slightly separated from the rest of the group, not because I'm, they're quarantined in any shape or form, but it's more just so my mentally, I'm like, okay, these two together. Granted, I put this together yesterday on the stuff, so I probably would have remembered today anyways. But with all the chaos that's been going on lately with the holidays, I just wanted to make sure I didn't. Anything to help me remember, hints, helps, and stuff. So let's see. Why don't we start with this one over here? This is the SX4 Valkyrie. And let's see, I'm going to copy the link. Let's see, where do I put it? Where to put it? No, got to get this program here. Social spaceship distancing. Yeah, that's what it is. Social spaceship distancing. Except the other ones aren't being distanced quite as much. Let's see. Okay, there we go. So there we go. And when I translate this to eventually to YouTube, hopefully I'll remember in the comments to list all the links that I have. But yeah, we'll start here with the Valkyrie. And let's do this. No, at least make that go away. Okay. So we have turrets. The challenge was to make a starfighter. In fact, let's go. Why don't I go? Challenge discussion, challenge brief stuff was to make an SV class starfighter. Destination starfighter class, max speed, armor, and firepower. Storage is low priority as this level of the game you should have a CV brought in for the looting anyways. Warp drive is of low priority. You can use warp drive, but do not let it cause you to compromise on any of the three important factors of max speed, armor, and firepower. Also, most of the equipment to support internal POI assault by player. Although I suppose if you're doing the, you're bringing in your CV to loot, once you've, at least for me, once I've got the outside of the, granted, I usually use a different tactic lately to getting into a POI, but the idea being is, when I have done in the past, when I've stripped a bunch of the turrets on the outside and got a approach into the POI, usually, depending on what the situation is, I might then have made a spot that I can bring in my CV in closer and park my CV, and it becomes my support for the assault. But also the equipment to support internal POI assault by player. Weight and volume and CPU compliant. No hidden thrusters. Hit all ZeroG challenges will have this restriction. Okay. Hidden thrusters, I guess there's I'm not seeing hidden thrusters here. I suppose I could poke into the internal. I think I'm in God mode anyways. But we'll look at this here. We have I think those are pulse lasers, and are those, I don't know my weapons that well. I put a bunch on mine, and I want to say those are plasma cannons. Are those, oh, they are plasma cannons. 6 minigun turrets, 4 rocket launchers, and okay, there's the 4 rocket launchers. 6 minigun turrets. What am I thinking? Minigun turret, not the Gatling gun. 6 minigun guns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And these are, I notice here that they're positioned so you essentially have your full 360 coverage. Not only 360 horizontally, but your vertical as well. So, it's got good coverage on those turrets. Stuff. Let's see. I'm going to turn off God mode. Let's see if I can. Now, I actually did take a moment yesterday when setting this up to throw fuel, O2, and pentaxid in all those that had a pentaxid tank. So, but I didn't really take a lot opportunity to look at them. So this is actually my first time, because I use GOG mode to just cheat myself right into the cockpits and stuff. So this is my first time really taking a look at the interior here. I like the place of the warp drive behind the glass. Okay. Door no motion sensor, I like that, but means I need to be, if I'm need to watch my wandering here too much. But I like this here. Glass is one of the thinnest blocks that's airtight and stuff, so I really like it, their use of it here, because it still leaves this walkway really open to get in here, in and out of here, but yet still seals the warp drive behind a barrier. Okay. We have our O2, our fridge. Constructor, I'm thinking about it, and our armor locker. Constructor, that's a... Okay, I'm going to admit is an oversight on mine. I'll get to mine last. But that would be great for creating some ammo. You know, restocking if you have a small container attached to it. Currently it's connected to the fridge, so in this case you could use it to make yourself some more bandages, you know, as long as you have some materials in the fridge. Make yourself some medical supplies, some food to restore some health and stuff. So really good, really great choice there. Oversight on my part, but I like their addition of this. Okay, some regular cargo containers. Here we have a 8,000 cargo and stuff. Our ammo, 8,000. Well, let's go pull up our. We're in the Valkyrie. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we're looking at that was all the cargo there. Okay. And we're got our tier 4 controllers. Just reflexively, I'm looking at this here. If this was going to be converted to the Reforge, I don't know. I have no idea what this stuff. But I'm just looking at that spot right between the tier 4 controllers. I'm like, that would be so easy and convenient to stick I keep thinking of them as tier 3, but I know in Reforge I gave them a different name and that stuff. But you have to stick those CPU extenders there. Make it a little easier on the conversion. Oh, our wireless, our core. Okay. And no, I did not throw ammo in these things. As tempting as it was, I haven't set myself up any targets to really shoot at or anything like that. It's just, the world that I'm doing this on, it is a, oh no, it's map. M for map. It is a 1G world, atmospheric density of 1 kilogram per meter cubed. This is what I call my basic world in my custom creative game. This is vanilla creative. If I want to test how things are, how the power system's on a SV handle, granted, I usually have another world I call standard. That's where I try to do my stuff for, but this is basic, and this is represent basically what your basic world. It's probably going to be comparable to this or less. So it looks like we're not. We've got a little margin as we're. I'm powering the shields when I'm doing this. Granted, I'm figuring that if you're going into combat with this, you actually are going to take hits to the shields, which means your shield's going to recharge. And so just charging the shields initially here, I thought might be a good initial test of the power system. Just, you know, so. Turns nicely. Okay. I like how it handles. Okay. Now I'm kind of curious. Okay. Okay, when I get out, I'm gonna power this off. Yeah, oxygen and stuff. Let's see. Okay. And we have a couple passenger seats, so you can bring a couple buddies along. It's all a POI. You got plenty of firepower. The also nice thing about the arrangement of these, not only do you have the full 360 on this stuff, but they pretty much all have a clean shot forward. So in addition to whatever you're shooting with here, you're likely going to be pounding the POI with the 6 turrets. Granted, you just don't get as much control of those. You just only target priorities. Okay. Let's see. Next we have the Banshee, also by Khazul. Where is? As I said, I really wish I had a third monitor. No, that's the Valkyrie. Copy this link for the Banshee. Okay. That is the, okay. Here we go, the Banshee. Now from this, I'm looking at this, I'm like, the Banshee looks like it's upgradable. So if you were going, taking this in vanilla, looks like we're maxed out on those weapons, maxed out on pulse lasers, and I'm guessing those are plasma cannons again. Again, as I said, I'm not a master at identifying my fixed weapons on an SV, but yeah, I know those are pulse lasers, plasma cannons, your rocket launchers. Since those are maxed out, if you were to put some additional weapon, whether it be railguns or stuff in vanilla, since those are maxed out, you'd have to do that. It does, in the flexibility though, as if you were converting this for reforged, they changed some of the weapon limits on that. In which case, then you could probably increase your. Also, a single thruster here. Yeah. But two. Okay, these are two large thrusters, and this is an 3x7x3. That's the standard XL. Then there's the XXL. These are the mediums, and that would be a large, and then the XLs and the XXL are the ones that are 10 and 13 long. Okay, I think that's what it is. So that looks like that's being powered by two large thrusters, and this one's being powered by a single large thruster. At least that's what it looks like. But it's also smaller, so it should be lighter. Okay. Now the other one had inside a bunch of the stuff that they talked about for supporting assaulting a POI. I do suppose. And okay, 8,000. So we have 8,000 ammo again. But the challenge did say, no priority on the cargo that you would be looting, most likely with a capital vessel, bringing that in. So wait a minute, if we go here, let's see, I want to say it's the SF4 Banshee, and just ammo. Yep, no, they really took it on that one. No cargo whatsoever. But when you're talking about supporting assaulting inside a POI, kind of, you know, at least for me, I kind of think of some other stuff. It looks like we're all thrusters, fuel tank, yeah. So this is definitely focused fighter, definitely, which to me this is what the challenge kind of lends itself as well to, you know, when you have the no cargo stuff. But oh, moves nice. Yeah, I'm expecting. I saw some of the on the workshop pages, some of the acceleration numbers. Initially, I wasn't looking at that, but then I saw some of the, you know, someone had screenshotted several of them, some of the stats pages, and I was like going, oh, I feel like I built for something completely else. These are definitely starfighters, the stuff. Yeah. Oh, I forgot to pay attention to how since this is creative, I probably wouldn't get any warning about over stuff. So I turn off the shield, turn it back on, and I should get the power spike that I'd expect to see. Yep. And part of it, what I'm doing here is I'm also doing the thrust in all three directions typically to try to test the power system. So. I love like the handling on that. So these two both have very great handling, and the biggest difference here, this one will bring a little more firepower to bear on the target. Granted, the 6 turrets you can do target priorities. You know, they focus on turrets, or they you know, just use them to keep your drone off your backs or whatever the case may be. So that will bring a little more firepower to the mix, but this is definitely your dedicated starfighter. Okay. As far as the looks stuff, yeah. Oh, we have a drone hatch. I wouldn't. I didn't look up. I'm guessing this is a drone hatch. Granted, before I knew about drone hatches, I occasionally put top doors in some of my SVs, mostly so I had another way to get in the SV without having to go all the way to where the door was at the back or the side or wherever the door was. But yeah, I'm thinking that's a drone hatch. That'd be my guess. Yeah. I like how these are shaped like they're big cannons themselves. I think it's mostly done to offer a little extra protection to these weapons, so that they're not quite as easy to target and destroy. They will be targeted, but you know, give them a little protection. I think that's what it was, because I remember seeing them post. I want to say that I saw Khazul post a little bit about there was a capital vessel and some SVs and the stuff that were in a series stuff, and so I want to say that was what that was some protection for the weapons. But it does make it look like cannons or something of that sort. You know, some big oversized energy weapons, which, considering that we have our plasma and our pulse lasers, the energy weapons is very appropriate. And it does kind of interesting here. It continues this line of the thrusters on through, so it makes it look like it's you know, one unit in essence. You know, I know some of the fantasy I played in my head. I've played the idea of you had a single power plant well, actually, I played with the idea of multiple power plants on a like on a sci-fi vessel, and one end of the power plant would be your thruster that was powered directly from the power plant, and the other end you had your weapons powered directly from the power plant. So it just makes me think of my little sci-fi imaginings in my head and stuff. This here, the single thruster here, the stuff much smaller, much lighter. Sometimes just going with small saves you so much in weight and stuff. Oh, one of the things that when I first popped this down yesterday, it really stood out to me here. Well, I forgot to set the speed of time to static. Let's get their light back here. Was here. I was like, carbon substrate, that's kind of interesting. And then I remembered, wait, the wings are not carbon substrate. The wing deco blocks, they're just using the texture that I've come to associate with the carbon substrate. And so it looks, gives it a very interesting look here. Quite a nice use of the texture. And so it makes it really kind of stand out, kind of like some sort of carbon fiber blades for the wings. So very, I like that. It just stood out to me. Okay. Then let's see, we have the StarRider. Let's see, StarRider is by Sulusdacor. And okay, here's the link for the StarRider. Okay. So here we have. We're not using the. It doesn't look like we're using the big jets and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised that tier 2s. I was guessing that these would be tier 2s here. And stuff. Oh, we do have some medium jets for our side thrust. I know that traditionally, for taking on POIs, people would recommend very good side thrust for going side to side, essentially dodging the incoming plasma blasts. Kind of a arcade approach to taking out a POI. We have lots of rear thrust here, where you're definitely achieving maximum speed. The stuff, and one of the advantages to something like the Thruster L Tier 2 is I want to say that they've got decent hit points. So that for having an exposed thruster, they can take a little bit of more of a hit than some other more flimsy stuff. Not to say they're not going to get destroyed easy enough, but the stuff. We have two of our minigun turrets down there. This one, I like how this one's mounted here, with that bracket effect going on. That is, I really like that. That's kind of nice stuff. This one here on top, I'm kind of wondering what sort of clearance it has to shoot at targets. I mean, straight ahead, but then we have these ridges here. Do these partial blocks, do they still block line of sight on turrets firing or not? I haven't tested that lately. I don't know. There's questions here that I'd be like, I'd like to set up a field test of this, but that was, I don't have a convenient field test set up for it. And okay, I just realized I keep wandering around this thing really quick, and I know that if it's doing like I'm familiar with, what it'll do is it'll get fuzzy as I wander around. Yeah, the tier 2 thrusters really have bad thrust to mass ratio though. Yeah, they do. They're not ideal. Sometimes I build my things to the to maximize my thrust ratio, but sometimes I'm building a flying tank and with exposed thrusters like this, and I'm going to look at it and I'm saying these thrusters are going to get hit. They're going to get hit. They're going to get. There's going to be, whether it's splash damage, whether it's directly shot at. I want them to take, ideally, at least one hit, if not two or more, if I can manage it. Granted, I'm going to ideally be a moving target, so there are going to be plenty of times they probably don't have a clean shot on it. But when I'm dealing with there's going to probably be some splash damage and other stuff. Yeah, I do like them to take a little bit of a beating. But yeah, there's definitely plenty of side thrust here for your dodge, making it probably harder to hit those thrusters anyways. But yeah, you do expect the front end to take a beating. Okay. So yeah, I looked at the back, I looked at the stuff. I like the solid landing gear back here, lighter landing gear up there. It kind of looks nice. Okay, now I am wandering around. Okay. I know the cockpit's inside there, but I was just curious if there was as I said, I didn't really take a super good look at these things beforehand. I just fueled them up, put some Taxit in them where I could, and oh, I like how the wing joins here, and they got the round shape. I hadn't noticed that. Oh, I like that. And then that piece right up there, just I'm not sure how to describe it, but I do like that it doesn't have to automatically all join right into that, and this allows them to get a nice shape that comes right out here to where the wing joins, but without having to, because like for me, I would have been grabbing like, I don't want this flat square right here, but I also don't want the wing to. I probably would have done one of the shapes that comes down here and then chops off the little corner. That's the stuff. So it had a sharp angle. Then that way I could have had something come down to the wing. But granted, the wing has a slightly rounded shape here and stuff, so I probably have a little bit of funny work going on where the sharp angle and the round shapes and stuff. But using the two rounds here, stuff, they does nicely stuff. And yeah, yeah, this is the shape I probably would have used there. It's this one right here. But you notice how this round quarter circle here comes nicely within that, so it produces a nice shape within. Okay, let's see, God mode. Okay, jump out of God mode. Wow, I could have done my jetpack, but okay. So the cockpit's right there. For a moment there, I was like, oh, they got a shutter door here, and I'm like, oh, no, that's those little piping things. Oh, but I'm standing on a shutter door. Fridge! One of the things I would typically think of, bringing some food and or medicine or something like that, selling a POI, or O2 station, because I might need to refill my oxygen while I'm in there. Constructor, okay. As I was pointing out on the other one, you could possibly make, depending what's attached to it, ammo. Also, that sounds like you can remake. You can make additional ammo, restock ammo stuff. Okay, and that's looks like that is a 3,125 container, SU container attached to that. Oh. And here we have our standard ammo container for the SV. Looks like it's mirrored right off the other side, I'm guessing. And then we have our thruster jet. Oh, come on. Come on. have some stuff accessible from the outside. Let's grab our seat in the cockpit, power this thing on. I'm going to have a harder time flying this from it. You do have a view from there, but it's going to be a harder time flying it from there. So I'm going to do an exterior view. Lift right off. We have plenty of lift. And it might have been just those few thrusters in the front, but it looks like they're more than sufficient to get us a decent, whoa, but not an absolute stopping radius. Okay, plenty of maneuverability. Stop and start a lot faster on the side to side. At least that's the way I perceived it. Let's go see the statistic. Yeah, 45 to the sides, only 21 meters a second for stopping. So, yeah. Again, we have the. Well, I think depending on your angle to the target, those two turrets on the side will be able to give some assist. I am not sure about the turret on top. Again, that might also depend on your angle, as well as the one on the bottom. I didn't really give that one a good look. I'm going to look at that again. But they are definitely going to give you some around the vessel coverage while you're outside. Assaulting a POI, you know, I'd feel a little confident that it's got protection, and, you know, that it can defend itself when I'm not defending it. Rocket launchers, maxed out on the rocket launchers. Okay, but again, I would say that some people, that's really what they take on a POI was with the rocket launchers. So it's hard to say. Well, looks like I parked it a little bit of an angle. Yeah. This one I'm a little more definitive that going forward, there's some stuff that block the line of sight. Some stuff it looks like it might have a fairly clear line of sight forward, but I'm not entirely sure. So, okay. Do I want to correct the part job? Not really. Do I want to leave it doing a handstand here? Probably not. Nobody else is doing a handstand here. Let's see. Let's level that out. Oh, I didn't pay attention to the power levels, did I? I was enjoying myself on a little test spin. Oh, let's see. 31%. You know, stuff. Yeah, we're definitely well within power restriction. You know, power. We're not going to redline and blow up our generators, most likely. Come on, come on, come on. And we were right around here. I was just looking at there, like the poor Banshee looks like it's sitting there by itself. Even its cousin sitting close to the other ones. Okay. Okay. The Black Hellion. Maybe it's just me, but the Black Hellion here. Let's go. I got a little bit of God mode here and go above it. I can't help but think of the SR-71 spy plane here. Of course, this is definitely no spy plane. It is well armed here. So we're rocket launcher homing, what no, this. Okay, that the black. I got the StarRider. I really should put the names of these here so I can keep track of what I'm doing with stuff. So we did the first was the Banshee, then the Valkyrie, then the StarRider. Sorry, I didn't put that in the stuff, but so I can keep track of what I'm doing here. I'm going to put down here. It's the Black Hellion. And this is stuff. And okay, and this is by ProcyonLotor, and we have a single Gatling gun up front. But looking at this here, we have our 4 plasma cannons, and I think that might. Okay, Black Hellion, cargo, we have a fridge in there, 2,250 ammo. No, that's what do I want here? Statistics, 8 rocket launcher homing. Now I know we've been wanting it that a bunch of us been wanting them to change how they do the CPU and weapon limits. You know, it's like now that they got CPU, why can't they let that control this stuff? Let's see, homing, max amount default is 4. So so if you want to stay within the rules of vanilla, unless the rules have changed with that I'm not aware of yet, in the experimental branch, I would say you would need to switch a couple of those with standard rocket launchers. I know there was someone in the past that got in grief on, I want to say this was years ago, maybe it was only a year ago or more, but someone had put, they fired salvos of rockets at a target, and they were getting called out on doing an illegal build and somehow getting that on the server. And the thought that popped through my head when they were talking about it, I was like, if I had a programmable keyboard, and technically I do, I just haven't messed with it, but I would rig a key that I would have the key fire one rocket launcher type. So I'd have to basically build out my my macro on my, or as you might call it, on the programmable keyboard. So that key then presses, say, number 2, fire, number 3, fire, and it does that really in rapid succession. A lot faster than I can do it on my keyboard. Now, I wouldn't be surprised. There's probably some people who can do their keys really fast and stuff. So they were complaining about their auto hotkey would work. Yeah, but yeah, someone was getting them about doing an illegal salvo with their rocket launchers, and they had them the GMs inspect their ship, and got it confirmed that it was a legal ship. And then the thought was going through my mind, yeah, it would be pretty easy to pull that off. It's just some of us, when we're flying the SV, unless we've got it some sort of hotkey or auto rigged up this stuff, we're not going to be pulling that off easily with this stuff. We pretty much, some of us, we might have multiple weapons on our small vessels, but we're picking the appropriate weapon to what we're dealing with, or maybe switch weapons while the one's going through a reload process. This stuff, but to actually rapidly fire 2 weapons in rapid succession, so that it would look like you got exceeded the standard weapon limits. I'd say most of us are, well, at least people like me are not going to just pull that off with their on their fingers on the keyboard. Got a bunch of thrusters up. I'm tempted to say we got a bunch of thrusters down. Stuff. Oh, we have plenty of side thrusters. Okay. I know the challenge did say something about not covering the thrusters, exposed thrusters. So I hate to point it out, but two things on this. One, game mechanic wise, this, if someone had block thrusters turned on, these up here will block the thrusters. And I'm not talking about yeah, the thrusters are half covered. The grates are okay. And stuff. If there is a walkway block that looks a little similar to that, and I wish the walkway block gave us that stuff, because there's been some starter SV that I wanted that angled thing there, but I was using a thruster that didn't have the angle, so I wanted, but the block here is the shutter window. The shutter window, you actually have here the slope, vertical, the non-transparent ones, they will block thrusters stuff. But this, the obstructs thrusters, these two, the transparent ones, do not. So game mechanic wise, these are not obstructed thrusters. As far as being able to shoot at the thrusters, they're covered thrusters. But these ones forward are not covered and stuff. But I like, do I like the look of this? Stuff like this. This is where I'm like, why people have been making some great builds that look really nice. I mean, that looks sweet. That looks like something that has some vented side thrust to improve maneuverability side to side and stuff. Off of this, these look like with that, and well, I guess it goes point into a central, it has a central thruster here, but just having this there in the front stuff. So I guess that, having the one single stuff, we do lose the Blackbird, the SR-71 look, having that there, a single thruster in the back. But this does look like it would be an engine module with some side thrust built into it. So I like the look. I really do. I wouldn't. It's one of those things. There are things that in the people build some stuff here and there that I think look really nice. They just look nice, and you just want it to look that way, and you're like, well, please don't. You talk about putting this rule in, and please don't. Or at least please don't enforce it. So I know that, but the rules for the challenge was not to no covered thrusters. So they are half blocked. Depending on your interpretation, they could be considered totally covered, but only half blocked. So I don't know how you'd other stuff, but I do like it. Wait, have I don't think I've flown this yet. I got sidetracked here. Okay, I want to go look at the stuff. I saw a fridge thing. I want to say I saw a fridge in the F4 menu. So is there by chance, just out of curiosity, is there a way to get to the fridge from the outside? Now, if it's underneath with the SV parked here, I am not going to just find it underneath. But if you're assaulting a POI, especially one in space, underneath is completely a viable access point. But I am, unless they've got a shutter door here or a ramp block that I'm just totally missing myself, I am not seeing it. But there is definitely a fridge in there, so if you're just doing the F4, and I do that plenty of times myself, especially when I'm in a POI, I'm not going to go run back to my capital vessel or my hover vessel or whatever. Typically, as long as I will run to a point to the POI that I'm close enough to pull up the logistics for my vessel, or if I happen to be, I'm in the middle of got a little break in my fighting or something like that, I'll pull up the logistics and I'll just do it right from there. There are plenty of times I'll run back to my vessel, but there is, if it's just a matter of pulling something from the fridge, quite often I will just do it right where I am. Okay. So let's go ahead. Let's power this thing on. I think it was a little slower on the uplift stuff, but that could be just my perception. Okay. Some good turning. But I did point out those, we got some good side thrusters in there. Stuff. Oh, power systems. That's what one of the things I've been testing. We're hitting 60%, 65%, 70. So we're still plenty good. Good maneuverability. Lots of stuff. Feel like I could really, you know, kind of dodge some stuff here. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. Did I park it in the right? Let's see. Okay. The Black Hellion. Okay. Let's see. Next. No. I'm gonna. No, don't copy. I'm bumping over to my spreadsheet here and accidentally was almost going to copy Stan 222112 over the name of the SV, and I'm like, no. I'm going to confuse myself. You know, it's bad enough that I didn't put the names of the SVs and the stuff, but then I'm going to go have one place where I'm referring to the SV by name, and another place I'm going to refer to it by the creator. I'm like, I'm going to totally confuse myself here. Okay. The SSW Kopis. Okay, another we have a cockpit, you know, underneath. Okay, this one we had the cockpit's just out in front, out and facing. Oh, I parked that one in an angle again. Apparently that's what I want to do. Keep doing that. But the Kopis here, again, we have the cockpit underneath glass. Okay. Yeah, let's see. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 rocket launchers, 4 plasma cannons, 1, 2, 3 Gatlings. I mean, at this point, you know, later game, 6 Gatlings if you want maximum firepower for the Gatlings, but in this case, we're probably going to be using the Gatlings for light duty. So that'd be my guess. So at that point, just putting 3 on there, whatever, you know, light duty we're putting on tasks. We have, it looks like again, 4 large tier 2 thrusters on the front. But since this vessel is a whole lot smaller, it's probably going to be a whole lot lighter. So we're probably going to get a lot more out of those things as far as stopping. Regular M thruster. Okay. Okay. Technically, that one's blocked as far as, you know, game mechanics, but it is not covered on the stuff. So depending on how you're interpreting things, you know, yeah. But I believe the partial blocks still block it, which is frustrating. Now maybe they've changed it. Maybe the partial blocks no longer block thrusters as long as it's just a, you know. But last I played with it, a partial block blocked a thruster just as easily as a full block. So it was irritating. You know, so again, it's one of those things where, you know, I see mechanics. It's like there's one here. I'll get to it later. You look at it, like the thruster should not be blocked. But I'm looking at it. I'm thinking, but last time I played with the game mechanics on blocked thrusters, that thruster is blocked. It is not covered, but it is blocked. And I was like, there are times, you know, I was like, please. There are people that do some really cool stuff. And, okay. Short stubby wing with a bunch of weapons on it, thrusters. I like this slope effect going on here. It looks short, stubby, and gets the job done. That's what it looks like. And I'm pretty sure that this glass here gives us a, one, allows us to still see out the view of the standard cockpit behind there, but also gives us a extra layer of protection on the cockpit. Not, the glass usually is not a whole lot of protection, but sometimes just one more second, one more layer can make a world of difference. I've had vessels that simply having one more layer was all the difference between it being a crappy build and a superb build. So, okay. I'm not seeing. Okay, we have our Jet 2s back here. It looks like this is mostly a tight cluster of a lot of M and L thrusters. A lot of the M ones here, I wish the tier 2 M ones still had this, still had the same model, so that you could get the angled slopes here. I wish the L thrusters would allow you to give the slopes as well. I mean, I really like some of these things where you can use the slope shape stuff. I like how this looks right here. I mean, I think it looks really nice. But the question that would go through my mind is, like, if we had a slope shape here, would you go here with that shape there, and then would this be sloped, or would you just go through here and let it cut through here like that, which looks very nice, looks very stuff. Stuff. And even though this is in here and that stuff, I know for myself, I would probably be tempted, even though you can't quite get that that angle in there going with the thruster, it would just a little off. But if it was a sloped, I'd probably still put the slope in there, just simply so it slightly carries this angle that's going on here, even though it can't properly translate it. But although it may just look cleaner this way, I try both ways. That's what I would do. Looks like we have red glow going on. That's I think I'm gonna, if I don't forget, I am going to probably do my little play around with these things, fly them, and then I probably will, if I don't forget, change this to night, and then see what sort of glow stuff I have going on in these other SVs. Oh, I left the power on that thing. It's probably, it probably will still have fuel by the time I get to it. If not, I'll have to refuel it. But I'm pretty sure it'll still have fuel. One of the things I haven't been paying attention to on these things is their runtime. I've just been more like paying attention to the red line and stuff. So let's take a look at the Stan 2112 at their SSW Kopis. We have a cargo container, 125. On 125, that's probably more than enough to put a little bit of personal ammo for your shotgun, your sniper rifle, stuff like that. 3,500 ammo for the SV, and we have a little fridge that you could throw some food on there and stuff. Let's see. I'm curious. Okay, got the fridge. What's detector? Polaris pulse shield. Polaris pulse shield. Okay. Oh, and it has warp. Apparently, I wasn't paying attention to these other ones if they have warp, but that wasn't a priority for the. No, now I'm curious. This is gonna be 62, but it doesn't tell me if it's got a warps. Is there a convenient way to jump range 0? I'm guessing that means no warp drive. Well, it says warp. So Pentastic tank. Oh, no, warp Pentastic tank. It's so that might not be a warp drive. That might just be the auto grouping putting that in a Pentastic tank. Yep, yeah, that's a Pentastic tank. So no warp drive, just a Pentastic tank. Okay. Warp was not part of this challenge. That was, they said don't compromise your other stuff for warp. Okay. Okay, so it looks to me like that's your entrance into there. I like how these are done as little intakes here. It may not be much of a ridge here, but I love how this helps divide this to give it some shape here, so it doesn't just all blend in and become a big saucer. Okay, so let's go. Okay, turn that on. I'm noticing this unusual kind of what do you call it, tint. I'm guessing it's from the cockpit. I'm not sure if it's part of the how the cockpit is interacting with the build of the SV, or if it's just standard from that cockpit period. But I notice how it's creating this line here. I'm pretty sure it's not those windows, because if it's that extra layer of windows, then it should follow where the windows join. That would then be where the line would be drawn for this, or should be where the line was drawn for this tint that's going on. So I am guessing that is the cockpit. Oh, and I forgot to turn on the shields to see how our power systems. Oh, we're yellow. We're not redlining, but we did hit close. Oh, there we read, but we didn't go over 100, and it was just for a moment. I don't think it'd be enough to really do anything significant and stuff. Okay. Okay. Oh, it popped me right out here. That's why I seemed like I was stuck, because it popped me right out there with the windows right around me. And so I felt like I was stuck a little bit, but I wasn't really. It was just... I forgot to test the shields on mine. Oh, hi. It's not just the one. It looks like I have a tendency to want to park them forward. I wonder how many I'll park forward like that. Oh, this is cool. Like a stairs on the side for accessing the SV. Granted, if it was parked at a any bit of angle, you probably wouldn't be able to get in these. This probably only really works if the SV is level. But that's cool. It looks like, that is. So when it's level, it actually is functional as a little stairs. I'm actually on my 1G world without my jetpack on, getting up the ladder. Okay, with this. Okay, this is the FRK Aesalon Fighter Mark III. Is that what the? Oh, and that's what I have here from off their workshop page as well, from Niagara Warrior. Okay. Okay, let's see. I'm seeing a big missile rack up there, which looks really cool. When I saw this, I'm like, oh, that looks so cool. Part of me is dying to know is that 4 of each different missile, or is that? Yeah, it is. 4 homing and 4 standard rocket launchers. Okay. So yeah, it is what I was talking about, the other SV back there, doing an array of both stuff. Pulse laser. I like using this deco myself. Like it's, granted, I've used it both like it's an antenna pointing off the back, like some sort of trailing antenna array, but I've also done it pointing forward, like it is part of the weapon systems. So I like it having it right next to the pulse laser right there. Stuff. We have plasma cannon, Gatling gun. Again, the Gatling guns are probably, at this point in the game, you're probably just using them for light duty, and then using your other weapons for some primary stuff. Okay. Pulse laser. I thought I saw 2 more, or is there only 2 pulse lasers? Yeah, there's only 2 pulse lasers. Okay. Four plasma cannons, 2 pulse lasers. Okay. Oh, definitely reaching our top speed here. Plenty of, got our Jet 2 XL thruster. XL, not the XXL, but the XL. Got plenty of forward thrust. We do have side thrust. I'm guessing that this is, I'm probably going to feel more like I'm flying mine a little bit with this thing. That's one of those things when I saw this thing, and I'm going, oh, this thing looks beefy. It looks tough. I mean, this looks like it can get the job done, take a beating, give a beating, and stuff. So yeah, it looked tough. It looked cool, stuff. We have the 2 cockpits up here. Okay. I'm not sure if that's a bring a buddy or if that's when one gets destroyed, pop on over to the other. Stuff. We Gatling turrets. These definitely have a clear line of fire forward, so they're going to, whatever you're shooting at, there's a fair chance, as long as they're not distracted by other targets, they're going to contribute. 2 back here for defense. So in other words, especially on a ground POI, you've landed this thing down and stuff. Little patrols coming up upon it, drones. It's going to handle itself. It's one of those things where there's been plenty of times when I hear explosions while I'm inside the POI, and I'm like going, I'm probably getting stranded here right now as as I'm listening to these sounds. No. So the fact that we actually can put turrets on our SVs, I'm like, oh. With an SV properly built with those things, it can maybe, I'll be in there and be like, it might survive. It might keep itself alive. Okay, a double door. So that's, makes me think flying tank. Oh, you're definitely bringing some buddies along. O2 station. So if you're on a world, you need to restock your O2. Constructor. Currently, it's not set to anything, but we've got a fridge, a couple cargo boxes. So whether you're going to build some ammo or you're going to build some food or medical supplies. I'm going to turn this thing on. Oh, here we go. Okay. Environmental controls, interior, atmosphere, okay, temperature, which is a standard with the game puts it as that. Exterior, 7 degrees Celsius. Yeah, it's cold out there. Warning, heavy day, acid rain. I've run into a few of those. Like, why am I taking damage out here? Oh, maybe if I paid attention to the weather. Okay, system reboot scheduled in 5 hours. Postpone, reset now. Oh, that makes me feel like dealing with some of my computers with work. It's like, No, I just logged in. I'm starting my workday. Why now? Postpone? Yes, please postpone. uh, okay. Container controller ammo, 3,500. Let's see, we're in the FRK Aesalon Fighter by Niagara Warrior. Let's see, we got a fridge, a couple cargo boxes, 3,000 for a container controller, and 3,500 for the ammo. So, yeah. So you could have definitely some materials to make some ammo, other needs. Okay. And then you could use something like smaller, like the cargo boxes, for some of the handguns and other miscellaneous things that you may not want to clutter your primary cargo with. Your armor locker. When your armor gets damaged, you need to change it out. Stash a spare set of armor in there too. Okay. Passenger seating, arrows, and okay. I was just curious. It doesn't. Oh, that's a double door itself. Oh, which gives you a kind of a cool effect. One side being gray, one side. And although that makes this kind of an airlock, there is no. Doesn't look like it's an O2. I don't think O2 gets in here in any way, shape, or form. So other than being on a world that has O2. Oh, that's cool. Apparently there's some flares there on motion sensor. Makes me wonder if all the flares are on motion sensors. If if I'm close enough to the vessel that they flare stuff, or if I'm farther away, if they'll. I'm thinking some of those flares are just simply on control timer delays, and they just automatically go, because I don't think motion sensors go out this far, so I'm pretty sure. Now, if I go under far enough away, the game will stop rendering the flares anyways. Well, that is cool. Some of them are on motion sensors, some are not. Okay. Oh, a generator. Oh, that is cool. There's a generator in there. Got all this going on here. Nice deco work, looking nice with the piece there, and then they got a generator stuck in there. Probably because if I was looking at some situation like this, I'm like, okay, the weapon only takes up the couple blocks there at the front, and then I have this piece going on here. How am I carrying that through? And they put a generator with a couple of the shuttered windows, open shuttered windows. Oh, that's cool. Okay. I'm sorry. The fact that this is level on the ground and I can actually get up to the SV, top of the SV, just without using a jetpack. That's fun. Okay. Let's see. Oh, it's already turned on. I already did that because I was looking at the LCD stuff. So, oh, that took off nicely. Very good. Oh, it maneuvers nice. Well, let's charge the shield. Oh, we hit almost 80%, 79 point something for a moment. Oh, we yellowed. If it went red, I missed it, but we definitely went yellow. So it was caution. But as I said, I'm pushing it thrusters in all three directions. Stuff. It doesn't matter the fact that they're now. If I knew that one side specifically was heavier on the thrusters than the other, so I've been doing the lift, because usually lift is stronger than your thrusters for down. So to keep yourself off the ground or lift off the ground, the vertical takeoff, usually lift is stronger than your down thrust. So, well, I suppose it can be confusing. Are you talking about the thrusters pointed down, or the thrusters pushing your vessel down? But usually the one direction is stronger than the other, so I do the lift up, but I'm choosing angles where I'm not actually shooting for the sky, doing turns to help to push the system, and then I'm doing a side and forward thrust. So trying to maximize the thrusters, try to really push the power system. Weapons usually don't add a whole lot. Drills do. Your laser drills, your mechanical drills, especially the laser drills. Those will put a strain on their power system. Multi-tool, but you're usually not flying while using the multi-tool. And when something like this, you're probably not firing, drilling lasers while you're in the middle of combat. So, and probably not while you're pulling high maneuvers. So yeah, that is the FRK Aesalon and stuff. Okay. So Maximum Viper or Fedora Bro is it's one of those things. I wasn't sure because on the Discord when they submitted their entry, the name is Maximum Viper, and this is the Iron Scorpion. Hold on. But when I follow the link to the Steam page, it is Fedora Bro. So I wasn't sure if they're one and the same, or if it's someone sharing someone else's creations, or if it was a joint effort. I'm not exactly sure on the stuff. Oh, there's rocket launchers up here. When I saw this on Discord, I liked the he's locked in my basement. Which one? Fedora Bro or Maximum Viper? But when I saw this initially on Discord, I was like, oh, that's cool. They look like cannons going forward. But when I spawned it in my game, for some reason, sometimes just seeing something from a different angle, maybe instead of a picture on the or maybe just, I don't know, just a fresh look at it, whatever it was. I looked at this here, and when I saw it, I'm not sure if I can get the right angle here to where it suddenly dawned on me, because I was like, oh, look at those forward-facing gun pods. They look so cool. Flipped the other way and sideways. Yeah. I don't know if it's intentional on your part, but when I looked at this here, it suddenly hit me that calling it the Iron Scorpion, it's like this these side pods. They're like a scorpion tail, like two of them, which kind of a mutated scorpion, but this is an SV, but they look like a scorpion's tail wrapped forward, and stuff, and that I'm like, oh, that is cool. That is so cool. I like that. But for some reason in Discord, when I saw the picture, I didn't make that connection. It wasn't until I popped it in here in the game and I looked at that and I said, it just pow hit me. That is the Iron Scorpion. Oh my gosh. That is so cool. Okay, now let's see what we got here. Okay, we got rocket launchers, a pair of them there, a pair of them there, and a pair of them there. And it used to be okay. I can see the difference now. There's that one. That one is the same as that one, and that one's the same as that one. It used to be, it was a lot easier for me to tell which was the homing rocket launchers, and it was supposed to be a legacy interceptor. Ah, a semi-living ship. Ah. I'm not sure about the legacy. What if they're living weapons or what exactly, what sort of infestation they really are. Maybe I should play the story further through. But yeah, it used to be easier for me to do. Now I have to pay attention as that dividing line in the artwork. Is that horizontal or vertical? What is this stuff? The deco and textures are not conducive to organic design. I would agree, but I still like the way this looks on the stuff, and I will definitely say what's interesting in reality is there are many things that we mechanically design that are designed to imitate organic structures, organic life. It's like there's a bunch of things, whether it be a dragonfly, bees, whatever it may be. There's many things that are in their respective niches. They are designed as the ultimate for their capabilities in flight, movement, what they're it's like nature through evolution or intelligent design or wherever you believe. Some of those things are almost like pinnacles of design, and so there are many times that we study them and imitate them. So mechanical or organic, either way, I still like that scorpion organic feel. And there are times we will mimic things in life just because the fear or the trepidation, the stuff we will, because it strikes fear into those who see and observe stuff. Definitely some nice glow work on the inside here. Stuff. Again, it reinforces me wanting to do shift it to night and take a look at what sort of glow and stuff. Okay. So now, with plenty of forward thrust. We got some. Oops. Got off my landing pad here. Okay. Got an M thruster and a thruster L for a side thrust. Okay. Oh, we Gatling guns with good angle forward, so they will contribute to whatever they should contribute to whatever you're shooting at. Looks like a couple. Was that a couple M thrusters for lift? Okay. Okay, and this. No. I was wondering how you got up to the cabin, but I'm seeing a ramp here and a ramp there. Nothing's happening. I don't suppose there's I'm not seeing any custom signal or anything like that. Oh, but you do feed, because you can take the status of one as a signal for something else. So you are using some nice, clever signal work there. All I had to do is click the one, boom, I get both ramps. Of course, with the one being the source signal, you get some looping. If it, some horrible looping that probably would break things if you were able to take the signal back from the other one. So, yeah, okay. LCD projector. I think this is this another one I forgot to shut off to conserve fuel. Yeah, it's part way down, but it's not empty. Okay. Kind of nice, cool little effect going around with the core. Okay. Again, we have a constructor. You can build some ammo, other supplies. Well, depending on what. Okay, it's not connected to anything, but we have a container controller, ammo, and fridge. Technically speaking, since the game doesn't restrict you to just putting ammo in an ammo container, let's see, that it would be possible to put the materials with which to build. Oh, it's just called Scorpion here. Okay, on the workshop was Iron Scorpion, but here's a Scorpion. 6805, so plenty of room for your ammo, and maybe if you want to put some stuff to build some ammo with. Okay. Our CPU extenders are down on the floor. That's interesting. This is very different, but it looks nice. Okay. Our wireless, our fridge, armor locker, ammo, O2, constructor. Okay, and I believe we're looking at the back of the cockpit. Okay, this is going to be interesting. Oh, wait, no, I don't. It's already turned on. What am I doing shutting it off? Okay. So far, only up to about 65.8. You know, there's a little over. Oh, now we hit 70, almost 76%. So we are still well within tolerances on our generators for charging our shields. As I said at the beginning, here, with these being combat SVs, chances are they're going to get hit while being used. So you're probably going to see the shields have to recharge in the middle of active use. So I like the handling. The part that I thought was going to be interesting is when I get out of the cockpit. This sort of cockpit, I'm guessing is going to put me on top of the vessel. So with this vessel being a bit taller, granted, I don't think it's going to be too tall that, you know, unless I was on some sort of high G world, I don't think it's going to be an issue to come off of it. This stuff. But I'm not evaluating these things against high G worlds. I'm just stuff. Okay. Yeah, as I thought, on top of the vessel. Okay. Wait a minute. I probably should have looked. I'll put myself back on top of the vessel. Yeah. I was just curious if it would, if there was, you know, if there was a nice, convenient way to come off the back, but you know, I didn't actually think. No. You did think about getting in, maybe not out, but in. You have this nice double ramp going on. I must correct you on that. You did. Getting in your vessel is. Okay. Now this one, this is from Pear. Now I don't have a link to a workshop page. If it had been submitted as to an EPB file to the threads or this stuff, but I did discuss this with the Jupiter Vessel Corp, and they said to go ahead and include this. So this is an EPB file that I got sent directly. Jupiter Corp may or may not have been sent the EPB file as well. I did not verify. I just like, okay. So yeah, the so Jupiter Corp accepted this into the challenge. So and so I will also show this. This I had actually been seeing this some of the work in progress. Pear was doing this, uh, and I'm going to link. Hope Pear doesn't mind. If they do, they can tell me all about how terrible I was. This is their workshop page, so it is not on their workshop page, but they do have some. I browsed their workshop page a little bit. Did a follow. They have some nice some things that if they're from some sort of show, I can't. I wouldn't. I'm not familiar with the show, and so stuff. So that I would, for me, I'm inclined to say there was a lot of works on there that to me are probably Pear originals. A lot of nice stuff there. There are also, if you're familiar with the Thunderbirds, that show, there's actually some Thunderbirds, some nice themed Thunderbirds blueprints there. Some that looked Star Wars themed to me. Some that may had like it looks like a little bit of hint of Star Trek in there, but it not blaring, unless there's some Star Trek series that. Well, I haven't watched Discovery, so I'll admit that. This stuff, but yeah, there was a bunch of stuff in there that they're very questionable. Here's one of those things where, okay, the vents technically don't block thrusters. You could say it's covered, but it's not blocked. And you look at this circle here, and you're like, that doesn't block the thruster. That looks like a nice clean opening, and that's where it's one of those things where I'm like, oh, I like that. I like that. That's so creative and so. I mean, I've seen other people do it as well, and stuff. So I don't know if Pear hit on this themselves or just saw someone else do it and liked it or whatever. But it is like that is the people that do this. I'm like that is so cool. But yet, mechanic-wise, last I knew, those partial blocks still are considered to block the thruster. I'm like, oh, it's one of those things where you're like, please, Hellion, please don't ever make that an official rule. But I'm not sure where is that just my wishful thinking. I like how they did a bunch of the weapons here with stuff and blocks behind them or blocks around them that make them look like they still look like weapons, but this looks like a bigger weapon than just those the two blocks. Well, the third one that's pointing forward, but when it's retracted, powered off, it's only two blocks. Stuff. It makes it look like a bigger weapon than it is. I like these things here. I thought a little bit of some of that Star Wars X-wing thing going on, maybe some other sci-fi reference, but it makes them look like more than they are. I think that's the railgun. Is that railgun? Yeah. Up here we have our plasma cannons, stuff. We have our turrets. Notice that it's a little bit wider back here than it is stuff. So this turret, I think, is technically right here along this wing as far as the lines go. So this railgun, it technically fires right whizzing past that turret, which means that turret then is also outside that line. So they should all have clean shots forward. Stuff. We have a turret here underneath, forward, and a turret up top. So all the turrets should have clean lines. But let's go up here. One of the things I noticed about this SV is here, how they did this glass enclosure here. I can't speak for you, but for me, this looks like it's a turret unto itself. No, it's fixed. It only points forward. But, yeah. Yeah, looks like one of those defense layers are military planes. Yeah, it does. Yeah. Either that or one of the cameras that they'll have, essentially, with the associated with weapons targeting stuff. A night vision camera or extra sensors stuff. But this looks like a turret unto itself, even though it's fixed. So they look that struck me as really cool that way. I mean, this thing, I really like a lot of the shaping and the stuff. It looks like a heavy flying tank. That's what I'll describe it as. It's got wings, but it's got the bulk, the weight of it. It just looks like a flying tank with big turrets, stuff. Weapons that appear bigger than they are. Okay. Oh, we have a rear cockpit. Okay. So for combat here, it looks like you could go into the rear. So the front cockpit would probably be convenient for flying lazily, traveling from point A to point B. You're not going to do any combat and stuff. So you got a nice clear view. It also looks like your standard stuff. But over here, back here, we have our actual combat cockpit, protected by the hull of the rest of the vessel, basically. Yeah. So you are protected behind all the rest of this vessel. Now I noticed from we had some views and stuff. Now, okay, so now I have access to the interior here. Can you fit down in there? Can you? Oh, it looks like I should, but I can't. Maybe if it was at some angle, maybe it was in space where you can use your, get some other, where it doesn't automatically force you to always be straight up and down. Because I'm guessing that this might be a forward axis, and with this thing be sitting nicely and flat, that I can then get around and get in here. Oh, I love that. It's a container, but it makes me think of some sort of generator or power supply or something like that. And then we have our shield right there. It's a little tight, but I fit back there. Oh, you have another. I think. Ooh. This is just a standard seat. But a pilot seat. I believe that's a pilot seat. That's a pilot seat. Did they change it so that you could mix the two? For a while there, I know that it would count the total pilot seats, even though one was one type, one was another. The armored versus the non-armored stuff. They would be counted against the same limit. So I don't know. That's one of the questions I might. Now I've got to go. It's not to guarantee here, but if I go here and I type, it's right by the pentaxi tank. Yeah, but I've, without sitting in the pentaxi, I don't know. There is a one block gap, and the one block gap is enough for you to be safe. Usually, there are some things that have a little bigger radius than that, but there are plenty of things that just one block and stuff. So there's times where I've intentionally, instead of put a thin wall next to a pentaxi tank or something like that, which would allow the players to step into that block, I will put, if I'm putting a thin wall, I'll put it on the opposite side to push, or maybe I'll use something else to make it harder for the players to get into that one block space right next to the pentaxi tank, and force them further away, and then they'll be safe. Okay. Now this, oh, wait, I probably left this running and it probably ran out of fuel. No, it's turned off. Did I forget to fuel it? Maybe. Looks like I got the O2 in it. I got the potaxid. Maybe I just forgot to throw some fuel in it. Okay. Oh, we got some nice lighting around in here. Of course, when I do the night view thing and stuff. Now, what you're going to see here is a bunch of indications of inward pointing thrusters. So, based on the challenge stipulations, not only does it make that this place ends up nice and roasty for me to try to go here while it's running, but you're probably going to have it powered off anyways when you're walking through here, or at least some easy enough. But it that does kind of indicate that, that a little violation of the stipulations and stuff. Now this is also a work in progress, which probably explains why powering this on we don't see anything on that LCD and stuff. So this is not a completed works, but I had been seeing them work on this in built-in noob kill chamber. Yeah. Why am I roasting? My SV and HV designs. Yeah. You end up kind of cramped and usually inside an SV. There's not a whole lot of, because the bigger you get, the heavier they get, the harder they are to control and stuff. Especially since some of it measures it by the total width of your SV, not whether you have the weighty parts out at the edges of the SV. So you could have something like an antenna sticking out, and it makes your thing wider. You're like, well, the antenna's light; it shouldn't really, have much of an impact, but it goes off the width of your SV or the height or the length. So, which when I get to my SV, that's going to be part of the design flaws with that one. But in my case, I wanted my SV to be that certain way, so the design flaws were a given I had to deal with. A little warning symbol on there, just in case. But as a work in progress, they might, who knows, they might put some warning signs here. Turn off thrusters before entering chamber. I love this. That makes it, this could become a keyboard if they wanted to. I'm not sure what they're going to do with this LCD, but that could become a keyboard and make that look like the monitor. Yeah, I like that. I'm not sure if they're going to do an LCD projection there, or just simply leaving it blank might be just more than adequate. Let the player's imagination take them. You don't have to do I don't think you have to do everything for the player. Excite their imagination, get them excited about it. Okay. Technically, these are blocked and covered. Again, the thrusters themselves, or the open, the transparent shutter windows don't block the thrusters, but they do cover the thrusters. However, in the case, it's the weapons that block the thrusters. These ones are not blocked and stuff. Okay, but I like a lot of this. I like the I want to say this looks to me like a Navy plane made into a real spaceship. Okay. Oh, we are redlining bad. Oh, powering the shields. I would. Yeah, and it's staying redlined while charging, so that does worry me a bit. Part of the giveaway here is that we're up in the 50%, depending on what my maneuvers here, 50, 60, 70%. just maneuvering the vessel. So once it hits the shields, because they draw a bucket load while charging. Once charged, you're fine. But as I said before, in combat, you're probably going to take some hits. You're probably going to have your shields charging at some point. And I would not... I mean, this thing looks like a tank. I would love a few more generator or two, whatever it is, to take it right under... Even if it's redlining, but at least under 100%. Because if it's under 100%, it's probably not going to stay above 100%. Or stay at 100%. It's probably going to fluctuate a little bit while charging the shields. It'll probably be in the 80s, in the 90s, stuff. But if you could at least have a little buffer, it would be nice. So that, you know, flying this, it's a beautiful flying tank. And personally, yes, it's a little lazy on the turns compared to a bunch of other people's stuff, but I wouldn't mind at all flying this thing stuff. It's got plenty of thrust. You're still going to hit the top speeds, getting from place to place. You've got plenty of stopping power, so you're not going to run into things too easily. It's just going to be slow on the maneuvers, but I admit I don't usually do a whole lot of fancy maneuvers myself. I'm not that sort of skilled player. So I just wish it had a little more generator, a little more margin on the redlining, because that would scare me in the middle of combat. That I'll take a hit, my generators will redline, and they will potentially lose my generators in the middle of battle. And but okay. Now this is my SV. And I admit I do glowy bits on my SVs. The original, this is actually my SV. It is also a work in progress. It's not quite done. It is functional. The signal work is in place on the stuff. It's just little details, like I probably would change some target priorities, set some target priorities on the turrets. Probably, I typically on my turrets, this is just me, I know other people do differently. Some people have them focus on generators, stuff, but this is an SV. It's not like some sort of capital vessel turrets. I'm probably going to have it focus on targets I'm most likely going to be shooting at myself. And in my case, I'm usually shooting at a turret so that I'm safer landing my vessel nearby, whatever stuff. So to turrets to defend it. Now, contrast to some others. Hold on a moment. Okay. I need to wrap up here as quick as I can. So I can't spend too much time on mine. I'll give you a quick tour. Yes, I do not have the multiple rocket launchers, both Pear types. I do have the railguns here, pulse lasers. I do have some Gatling guns here. Again, like some of the other ones, probably for light work. I was going to say that you've noticed my turrets are all on the horizontal. I do have forward and backwards protection based on this. 4 will be able to join the, potentially the 5th one on top. The one below is not going to have that struts in the way. But when I built this thing originally, I originally did the arch and it didn't look quite right to me, so I added that strut. And then for whatever reason, it looked right to me. So personal taste, personal preference. And in this case, when I later revisited this, because I was looking at my abandoned projects, what could I put turrets on? And this one is the one that said I can put turrets on this. It used to be originally a starter SV, but I abandoned it because the simple size and scale of it, it was hard to make it a starter SV anymore. The width of the wings, the height of it, the length of it, blocks, the whole blocks just consuming CPU. The thrusters I needed to move something that big, stuff, even if it was just made out of steel or plastic, just everything I needed to move a vessel that big in that shape just made it impossible, at least for my skill set. But then when I was looking at this challenge, I'm like, well, what are my abandoned projects? Well, initially before this challenge, I looked at it and I was like, I could put turrets on that. And then when they did this, the challenge, I'm like, well, I could just finish this up. Okay. Signal work's done here. I don't have my secondary cockpit all the way at the back like the other fellow, but I do have a secondary cockpit. Okay. Technically, if I stand right here in the middle and stuff, but as soon as I move to one side or the other, those doors are in motion sensors with the ramps. Okay. This one, I get close enough. There's my forward cockpit. This is actually, there's an O2 ventilator here, so it's its own O2 zone. The idea being, if necessary, in combat, you sit back there, nobody up there, and that can all be sacrificed without, you lose a couple Gatling guns up there on the front, but no serious loss. The thing can function without those generators if I've done my done everything right. So it can lose a lot of the front end. This here, we have our passenger compartment and stuff. So we have our second O2 zone here. While you'd hate to sacrifice your passengers, if you're in the middle of a fight, the pilot is the one who really needs to stay alive to try to keep everybody alive. So pilot and the pilot in the very back. Okay. My armament. And let's see. Oh, another thing about mine, which could be considered a potential security weak or various weak points, but somewhere along the way, I got in a habit. This is going to be noisy. Because a whole bunch of hatches all at the same time. So technically speaking, almost every internal part, either you can access it from outside, all the thrusters, guns, that sort of stuff, or some of them might be some little odd angles, this stuff. But if I haven't messed up too bad, almost everything should be accessible. And this one, granted, this one here, you'd probably have to access from space or have parked up a little higher or something like that. But, okay. And again, it's going to be noisy. Let's got some lights here by the doors. Interior lights. No, I'm getting the base. That's the base. Okay, the spotlights can be turned on and off. In my case, I did put a spotlight up here, the stuff, but another spotlight back there. Okay. Yes. I hear you, Dylan. I'll try to finish this up real quick.
Okay.
So I gotta, view from there. This vehicle is all about the arch. I wanted to make an arch. Yep. Jerry 13 flyer. So I wanted, this is about the arch. Now let's hit the power systems on mine. I can tell you why that's only hitting in the 40s, because I built this, as I said, I tend to build my stuff for a different planet and stuff. Mine is not the fastest at turning and the stuff, but that's partly because the width, the height, I mean, it really, I probably could have done some sort of different arrangement on thrusters to really stuff, but I didn't want to get too carried away that would destroy what the point of this vessel was that arch. But the arch does lend itself, the way I've done the pods on the arch, for me adding, among my builds, adding those turrets stuff. So, okay. Now, I wanted to do I need to wrap up here, but let's go and make sure these things are turned on. Because I'm going to do a quick nighttime. That one, as I said, let's look like it's got some glowy bits. Okay. Did I get them all? One more to go. I hope that's all of them. I'll find out here in just a moment if I missed any, I think. I partly want to take a part of these kind of submissions and design challenges. One of the places you can find them is, hold on, let me go. If you don't want to sign up into Discord, now I think some of the Discord channels you have to get invited and stuff, and you know, I'm not sure if I can or cannot invite you, but I can link you. Oh, hey, no, it's not general discussion. While I'm letting it sit here, I am going on here to the official Empyrean forums, and they have here a thread, and so you'll find some of these, you know, so look for, like right now their ZeroG is running a oh, come on, no, not that. If I want to put this in my chat, okay, what's up? ZeroG is the stuff yeah, they have their Discord channel, but you can also go here, and currently challenge number 11 is the one they're currently people are building for, and they're making submissions. Okay, so this here, we get some nice glowy bits on the, as I said, they look like energy cannons and stuff. We got some, you know, I like, it's just personal taste, but I like, you know, just small little details of glow, like you see going on here. Yes, this is a little bolder here, but I think it works nicely here. Little red dots, and then this here, you know, I mean, it looks like some sort of generator, you know, power core or something like that, and then you have the, you know, matching corresponding glow to go around it. Little light lines through there. In this case, they're using some glowing textures, and then adding some textures from the symbols and that stuff to then go around it and bracket it and accentuate and make it look really nice. Stuff. You know, here, you know, just almost just a light little dashed line going around it. Stuff. You know, again, you know, for me, as I said, it looked like you know, some sort of power. You know, makes me think of some sort of power core stuff. You know, and you power systems. Nice light little lines with a little bit of yellow here. Nice, just light little lines here and there, just kind of bring out some of the shapes, and just light little things accentuating, kind of like kind of stuff. But that's, again, that's personal preference, personal taste. This one, having it, yeah, we got a lighter flare down here. I wonder what that is. Well, what is it? Device. It is a flare. But yeah, but this one, if you were to ask me, looking at this, thinking of the SR71 stuff, dark, I wouldn't expect much glowies. Oh, they got a nice, I hadn't noticed that earlier, but nice little flashing flare there, so that's kind of cool. Okay. A little bit of red right around there with some white. Just a little dash of red, a little dash of, and then right around the engines, with the red and the orange, almost like a warning, or maybe looking like it's hot, it's really heated up, and this stuff. Okay. Access to the ladder, little forward here. I mean, yes, there's some some strong glow there, a little bit of glow there. But overall, a little bit of dash there. My personal taste stuff. But I like, they got glow bits, but I don't think it overpowers the design and stuff. And yes, the glow bits here are on the inside, and apparently I did not power this one on. Oop, there we go. But it leaves, in some respects, I think it kind of accentuates that organic feel of it. Yes, they're glow. You don't necessarily think glow organic unless you're thinking lightning bugs or stuff like that. But it kind of lights up that, they were trying to go for that organic feel. For me, it just kind of lights up the structure, the shape of that thing. And did I forget to power this one on? Oh, yeah, I forgot to power this one on. Oh, a little bit of glows right there. Yeah, a little bit of glow right there. For some reason, I still think myself, I think of like some sort of camera or sensor on the front. But maybe it's supposed to be something else, or just leave it to the player's imagination. Oh, LCD work. Oh, some nice LCD work. Yeah. Oh, and I said it was like a Navy plane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh, that is sweet. Nice little dashed effect going on there. Just lightly accentuating the doors, but not a bold proclamation. I don't necessarily pull that off myself, Stepher. Now you're probably going, this is all. Here I'm talking about light glow work, and this thing is not. Just let's say, although the color pink is not what the original was, the stuff, I like the way the pink turned out personally. That's my personal taste preference. I think it turned out in this. The glow is actually tribute to the original in its own colors, and if I'd gone with the glow the original had, the pink would be way too loud. As loud as it is, it would have been way too loud. The original was glow. It was like my early experiments in glow, and it was. I am glad it got a remake. But this is definitely not. You could say this, with the glow work going on in this thing, this is not something meant to be hidden or sneak up on you. But being the gunship it is, you know, the theory would be that it could potentially still bring some fear and trepidation, because you're like, yes, we see that coming, and we know it's got lots of guns. But there are things over here that have just as many guns, a lot more maneuverable, probably tougher, very possibly better built. Definitely, as I said, more maneuverable than this thing. But it was built for the arch. I wanted to do the arch, and I like how the arch turned out. Redoing the glowies on this, the arch was actually one of my challenges. Personally, I like the way it's turning out right now as it is, and stuff, and so yeah, it's definitely. If I were to say these light dashes here are more what I would have preferred, but actually it was kind of nice that these particular blocks, the dashes ended up at the edges, which is kind of consistent with these glows at the edges here, the corners. But this is, you know, a little more subdued, more what I would have liked if I'd had that texture at the edges, but on this here stuff. But I deal with the textures I've got, and as I said, I was paying tribute to the original. The original was very bold in its glow, and this is actually far subdued compared to what that one was. You know, or at least my perception is that this is far more subdued. Still very bold, but a lot more toned down compared to the original. But I wanted to pay tribute to the original. I wanted this to be its successor, the replacement. So, okay, well, I've enjoyed going through here. I'm probably 20 minutes late for another meeting. But fortunately, that's family, so hopefully family will forgive me, because it's not work, it's not business, it's stuff. But I hope you enjoy my little stream. Another time I will push this to YouTube, and then link this in the YouTube in Discord or something like that. So at this time, enjoy. Have a good day. I enjoyed seeing your creations. I enjoyed them very much.